This RC plane has no controls, so today we're installing its receiver. But before we do that, we actually need to connect our servos to the rear control surfaces. So the first steps of today are installing the control horns and connecting the push rods for both of the rudders and the elevator. Since this plane has 2 rudder servos, 2 aileron servos, and will eventually have 2 motors to connect the throttle to, we need to use 3 Y-harness connectors to connect everything to our receiver. Using some 3M mounting tape and a zip tie, the receiver is easily mounted into the fuselage. Next step is to create a new model and name it in our transmitter, and then simply by pushing the button on the receiver, it goes into bind mode and we can officially bind it to our transmitter. Now I'm going to be honest, working on this plane is actually super awkward because of the twin fuselage design and how many different wires we have running all over the place, even from one fuselage to the other. And getting everything plugged in, starting to test my patience a little bit. But finally, everything was back together and we can give these controls their first test. The wiring in this plane will definitely need to be cleaned up and made a little bit easier just for the sake of my sanity, but everything is working as it should and it's finally starting to become an actual RC plane. Next up on the list is installing our motors and attempting to find a way to create some battery hatches for this thing. So if you want to see that, make sure to follow along.